Imagine you're a Roman legionary in the year 200 AD. You've just spent months on the frontier, risking your life for the glory of the empire. Your pay? A handful of silver denarii. But there's a problem. When you go to the market, that silver coin doesn't buy what it used to. The loaf of bread that cost 1 coin last year now costs 2. You look closely at your money. It's dull. It's reddish. It's not pure silver anymore. You've just been robbed, not by a thief, but by your own emperor. Today, we're looking at the greatest financial heist in history. I'm Frank, and this is what history tells us about the day money died. To understand the crash, we must first look at the good times. For 300 years, the Roman Empire used a coin called the denarius. This was the US dollar of the ancient world. You could use it everywhere. Why was it so successful? Because it was honest. It was pure. Under the first emperor, Augustus, the denarius was 95% pure silver. If you were a soldier, you knew that 1 coin could buy a certain amount of bread or wine. The value was inside the metal. Because the money was stable, people saved, they invested, they built businesses. This trust is what made Rome a superpower. But then, the empire got too big. Imagine you are the emperor. You have a massive problem. You have 400,000 soldiers guarding the borders. These soldiers don't fight for free. They want silver. If you don't pay them, they will kill you and find a new emperor. But the silver mines are running dry. You have more soldiers to pay, but no more silver to give. The trouble started in the year 64 AD with the Great Fire of Rome. Emperor Nero watched his city burn to the ground. He needed to rebuild Rome. He wanted giant palaces and golden statues. But he had a problem. The treasury was empty. He couldn't raise taxes because the people were already angry. So Nero had a brilliant idea. It's a process called debasement. Think of it like this. If you have 1 gallon of pure milk, you can serve 4 people. But if you add a gallon of water, suddenly you have 2 gallons. It looks like milk, but it's weaker. The Roman mints started taking pure silver coins, melting them down, and mixing in cheap copper. They'd stamp the emperor's face back on the front and tell everyone it was worth the same. Fast forward 100 years. The empire is under attack. The barbarians are at the gates. Emperor Septimius Severus needed a bigger army. He raised the soldiers' pay from 300 to 500 denarii, but he didn't have the silver. So, he did what Nero did, but worse. He dropped the silver content to 50%. Now, the coins were only half silver. Severus gave his sons a famous piece of advice before he died. Be harmonious, enrich the soldiers, and scorn all other men. Basically, pay the army and don't worry about the economy. His son, Caracalla, took it even further. He invented a new coin, the Antoninianus. It was supposed to be worth 2 denarii, but here was the scam. It only had the silver of 1.5 denarii. It was a lie stamped in metal. The government was saying, this is worth 2, but physics said, this is worth 1.5. The people started to realize they were being cheated. By the time of the crisis of the 3rd century, the denarius, once the pride of the world, was less than 5% silver. It was a copper coin with a thin silver wash that rubbed off in your pocket. The result? Total economic chaos. When the people realized the money was fake, they stopped saving. Merchants hiked prices. In some parts of the empire, the price of grain rose by 1,000%. This was the first recorded instance of hyperinflation. The government tried to fix it with force. Emperor Diocletian issued the Edict on Maximum Prices. If you sold a bag of wheat for more than the government price, the penalty was death. But you can't execute your way out of bad math. Merchants simply stopped selling. Markets went dark. People fled the cities to live on farms and trade chickens for cloth. The complex, globalized economy of Rome simply evaporated.
So why does this matter to you?
Because history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Whether it's an emperor shaving silver off a coin or a modern central bank clicking a button to create trillions of digital dollars, the principle is the same. When you increase the supply of money without increasing the value behind it, the people holding the money always lose. Rome didn't just fall because of swords and shields. It fell because it lost its foundation of trust. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the world through the lens of history and finance, hit that subscribe button. I'm Frank, and I'll see you in the next one.